हरि ओम। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीं प्रपन्नपारिजाताय तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। Bhagavad Gita, a conversation with God daily. In this series today, chapter 3, shloka number 42. Indriyani paranyahuhu indriyebhyah param manaha manasastu para buddhya buddhev paratastu saha. Indriyani paranyahuhu. Arjuna asks Krishna, why is it that a person, in spite of not wanting to commit a sin, he feels, no, I should not do this, this is wrong, but still that person does it. He ends up doing it as if he is forced by someone. Why does this happen? So for that, Krishna replies, desire and anger. Both are more or less the same. Desire, unfulfilled desire gives rise to anger. This desire is the root cause of all evil. And this desire is just very powerful. It has an insatiable appetite. You can never destroy it. You will think, okay, I want this. If you get it, then you will be happy. No, you want something else again. You attain that, you want something else again. So that desire keeps asking for more. It is totally insatiable, and that is the greatest enemy for a person. That is the reason that because of desire, a person may even kill. That is the reason behind all sins that a person commits. And this desire actually is so powerful because of the senses, the mind and the buddhi, the reasoning power. Only because of the senses that you develop a desire towards anything. Only on seeing something or hearing about something, you feel, I want this. That desire itself, it develops. And then the mind, it is so very, it actually says okay for whatever you desire. And the reasoning power, all these together, they are the strength, the seat of desire. And then he says your wisdom, your ability of reasoning, your knowledge is totally veiled, masked by this desire, that you totally give up your power of discrimination and you end up doing sins. And today, so controlling the senses is most important. Once you control your senses, then your desires are automatically controlled and you don't perform any sins. Today he says, Indriyani paranyahuhu indriyebhyah param manaha. He said three things: your senses, your mind and your reasoning power, the seat of desire. Now about those three he is explaining. The senses are actually superior to the sense objects, that is the eyes, ears, nose, the various senses, the power of seeing, the power of hearing, that is more powerful than what we actually see. Whatever we see in this earth, or whatever we hear, whatever we smell, those objects of perception, whatever we see, than those objects, our senses are more powerful. That object itself comes into being only because your eye sees it. If your eye doesn't see something, then that object doesn't exist at all. Only because you see, that object exists. So your senses are more powerful. And indriyebhyaha param manaha, even more superior to this senses is your mind. Because it is only because of that mind that the senses act. Your mind says, oh, let's go there. Something good is happening there. Then you go there. Oh, let me see this. Everybody say that this movie is very nice. So let me go see that movie. Like this, your mind, your thoughts actually are the reason for your senses doing something. And manasastu para buddhihi, even more powerful than the mind is the buddhi, your ability to decide something. Because even the thoughts, sometimes we feel, we get a confusion or a dilemma. Shall I do this or shall I do that? Is this better or is that better? And then your buddhi only decides, no, we'll go with this, we'll do this, we'll do that. That reasoning power is buddhi. So, buddhi, the reasoning power, is actually more powerful and superior to the mind. And buddhehe paratastu saha, even more powerful than the buddhi is the atma. The buddhi actually, along with the senses and the mind, it actually totally covers or masks our discriminating capability. Our wisdom, our jnana is totally blocked. It is unable to actually shine because of this senses, mind and the buddhi. But the Atma just remains a witness to all these. The Atma is not affected by anything. Whatever desires you have, it's not affected. The Atma is not affected by this buddhi or the mind or the senses. It just remains a witness. It just keeps looking at everything. It's not affected by anything. So, that Atma is even more powerful than the buddhi. Next shloka. Yevam buddhev param buddhva samstabhya atmanam atmana jahi shatrum mahabaho kamarupam durasadam. Evam buddhehe param buddhva. So, knowing that, understand that the Atma is even more powerful than the buddhi. And who is that Atma? What is that Atma? You are only that Atma. You are Sakshat that Atma. So, realizing that, realizing the Swarupa of the Atma, you control your mind. And totally controlling your mind, you conquer desire, the greatest enemy, says Krishna. And with this ends the 3rd chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. So, we'll stop with this for today. We'll continue tomorrow.